So you see the full screen, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
This is a picture, and the first, the first two pictures I was in. I was just like have a conversation with two models, and they would like to prepare, to do something with water. So actually, I found this for me it's hard to it's at first it's very hard to to make some water art, especially inside the room, because the room is not big, and if you put especially if you put the water over the models, it looks like a little it's not really natural. I mean, if you just like put some waters in the forest or near the sea, it looks more natural because their water is belong to there. But inside room, and therefore I use a very high like the aperture like 1.8 to make the blur of the background, and just give the best focus on the model herself, and have some waters on just like pour on her. And what I want like I still, when I see these pictures, when I edit these pictures, I like these pictures because of the eyes of the models. It's very clear, it's very clean, the eyes. And if you see these pictures, can you feel that there would be the waters over the two models? Do you have any feelings that there are waters over there?
Well, you can see that the hair is wet, but not so much water.
Yeah. And this is also, I think it's not really that successful because if you actually I would like to have like the two girls like lying on the waters, but when I just pour the water on the ground is black, so it's not really like you can see the waters on the ground. I was thinking, and I'm now thinking, if I have a chance next time, I will just bring a glass or a plastic, just cover over the models and put some waters on the plastic or the glass, and that will be much clearer to see the the water drops. And okay, this is the third photo is I took in a bookstore, and I cooperate with another model, and I feel that her she has like a feel. She gives me a feelings like she comes from a very old but holy family. It's I was watching a German series called Babylon Berlin. It's like because I was really attractive by the time from the Weimar Republic period, and therefore I feel that her has that she has that feelings in that old time. And I just put the whole, the color, the temperature is more, you can see more like green, more like, it's not very bright. It's a little dark and green. It makes like the feelings atmosphere. It's more like the old time or the classical.
Mm-hmm.
And also if you see her eyes, it's kind of, she doesn't have any point on her eyes. It's more like a casual. I can say, okay, it's like in the afternoon, a woman just like sits in front of the bookstore or in front of the bookshelf, and just like be casual in that time. So it's I didn't have too many I didn't talk to her very just much to change her about the gestures. I just, because I think she looks quite she looks really quiet and calm. I just say, okay, you may sit there and watch out of the windows, and I just capture the different, always capture some photos, and I will pick up this one.
It's a very nice photo, and it's and the tonality, I think this really matches very nice the brownish tones with the background and the foreground. I really like it a lot. It's
very nice. Yeah.
Thank you. And I think this picture is very similar to this picture, because I think because the both, hello, because the both there, I would like to give that feelings of, you know, the classical time. So the both in that one just like sitting in front of bookshelves, and another one playing piano, like, you know, at the afternoon, be casual, just like enjoyable. And I think this model is quite unique because her origin is like from Africa, and she has a very special hair. And when you just talk with her, you always have, you know, you have a very unique feelings because she's, I don't know, but I feel that American are, you know, are quite outgoing, and and especially when they have so long hairs, they just like she smiles and then she like waving her hair. You will feel quite, you know, you will feel this model is the feelings to communicate with this model is totally different from the others. Therefore, it's quite happy to, or it's quite outgoing to cooperate with her. And I just say, like maybe you can just shave your head, or you just you can imagine sometimes, you know, the time you are happy, and maybe do some moves or do some you know, do some gestures, whatever you want. And I just like when she's moving, like, or, you know, dancing, I just taking a lot of pictures, and and then I pick up this one because I found that her hair is quite, you know, you can see, yeah, it's still, the face is very clear. The hair is a little blurring, but I prefer the hair could be more bluer. So you can feel, you know, the movement. Yeah, the moving of the hair. But still, I find I like these pictures because unlike the pictures before, I can feel some, you know, the feelings from this woman. And this is, I didn't try too much, you know, the black white photos, but this time I just try it, and it's like this is only the half, you know, the half light on the faces. It's just give you like more the, you know, mysteries, you know, the feelings of mysteries, the feelings of serious. Yeah, it's this especially this kind of photos you were seeing a lot of, you know, the very serious awards, like the films, you know, the men in the office, sometimes good, sometimes really bad. It just gives you more imaginations, but it's also, yeah, because of it gives you more mysteries. But if you see this, you know, this girl she's quite happy. But if you see these pictures, you have no idea what she was thinking about. So yeah, and I like watching horror films, kind of like Silent Hill. So she is actually she is very beautiful. She is very beautiful models. She has very colorful hairs and very, you know, she's very unique. She has a very special, she's also very flexible. But when she just like doing this stuff, it makes me think of pictures from some a well-known Joy. And it's kind of, you know, like a zombie or what, doing this stuff. It's kind of horrible. And then I remind of, and then I was thinking maybe I can just, this time I used a preset from Kodak. There's a Kodak film preset. I tried some different preset, and I really find this preset is give you the feelings that makes the whole atmosphere a little horrible and very old time. It's even like, you know, it's a vampire maybe. But definitely she is not that girl. She's cute and she is beautiful. And wait, I think this is the last. Yeah, this is the last one. Wait a moment. Yeah, this is the last one. This is Chinese traditional clothes. So I took it in Chinese garden when I was in China. So because yeah, And I think this is you cannot see those stuff in you cannot show this stuff in Europe. It's if you see the background, it's kind of like Chinese traditional gardens. You have buildings, you have a lot of trees, and the girl wear like the typical clothes. And why I take this, because in our culture that we prefer, you know, if you put the girls inside the nature or inside a lot of trees, you will show the girls is more like it will if you a girl a lot of like you are in gardens, buildings, it's very, you know, the background is very broad and big. It will just like show that person is wise, is more clever, or is more quiet and more cute. So yeah. And yeah, this is 8 pictures I show. So if you have any question or if you want to see pictures before.
Yeah, they're beautiful. The one that you said the second or the first one, the one with the two girls, I really like this photo. Even if you don't really see the water, I think it's the black background and the black clothes really play for it. The contrast with the skin is I think comes out very, very well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, if yeah. Have you ever tried like maybe some pictures with have you ever tried some portrait pictures?
I've tried, but I couldn't do anything like this. It's difficult.
How to say? Actually, before I just like took these pictures, I have no idea what the pictures I will take, because for example, these pictures I took because the models would like to have some pictures with water, and normally I think it's not normally it's not I don't think how do you say, it's very hard to ask models whether you would like to have some photos with water, because you will put the water on the models and they will wait, so they need to change their clothes later. But unless those 2 models ask me whether I can take some photos for her with waters, and I can pour the waters on her. Yeah, but yeah, I would like it would be better if the waters could be showing more time on their faces. Yeah. It would be more, you know, some that feelings. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to try it, but I like it very much like this.
But definitely, I just like smoothing I do some processing on their skin, yeah, because they have some, you know, some different like the point on the skins. I will just like remove those skins and make the skins a little bright, and also make the looks more clear. You just like add some more contractions and also some noise reduction.
But it's very good. It's not overdone. Sometimes people overdo it, and then it becomes completely artificial on the ear. I think they look quite natural. I like it very much.
Yeah, this is nice. It's this natural view. It's really it's also something I prefer. Where did you put the light? Is it an on camera flash, or is it off centered somewhere?
It's not on camera flash. There's no flash. There's just like on the ground, like in a room, in a big room on the ground. The light is from the outside, windows. And if you just like zoom the pictures, if you can see their eyes,
yeah,
you will find the windows there.
Yes.
Yeah.
If the people use flashlight, you will see like a very light point in the middle of their eyes. So you will always watching their eyes, you will find which lights they are using.
Yes, this is the eyes. You can see so many things often in the eyes. If you really look close in the picture, then you see often the whole setup or even what's around, and so it's it reveals a lot of secrets. The eye.
And did you use any reflectors, or because the light is quite well distributed? It's clearly from the right side, but there's also some light from the left. Could be just white walls or something, or it could be reflectors.
It's I didn't use any reflectors generally, because it's all from the room inside. But definitely, if you, I think in this time, this part, for example, in this phase, is the lights on the face is quite smooth, so there's no like dark and light. If that happens, we can still like using some layers on the Photoshop to to make the left face a little brighter. But in this case, I didn't use any I didn't just like change the light from the left, so it's all from the outside because they have a very huge windows. That's the reason.
Yeah, oh, it's very nice. I had one question on the African model with the hair moving.
So
this one, was it intentional to have with the eyes closed?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
Was it intentional that her eyes are closed?
Yeah, it's a. No, it's not intentional. It's occasional because if I just take a lot of shots, so sometimes she just like at the beginning she opened her eyes and then she just closed and opened, as closed and opened. So it's I would like it's more natural. It's not really intentional.
I found it very interesting because I think anything you read about portraits will say never eyes closed for the model, but I find it comes really well because it adds to the whole atmosphere. A smile with the eyes closed, dreaming about whatever, and the air flowing like that. I think it really works well in this case, but I wouldn't think of it.
Yeah, the eyes closed. Yeah, it's normally when we just like having when we like reading some magazines from like GQ or some whatever, they didn't just close their eyes because they would like to make their, because if you think of the fashions, the eyes is quite powerful. So especially the eyes for the models is quite powerful. But for us, when we, for example, we would like to take some, we just decide for our topic, we would like to take the pictures to review the mood or to remove the feelings of the models. Then eyes is not really, eyes is definitely important. Eyes also show some feelings, but when you just like in this picture, if she just occasionally or is like naturally close her eyes, and you will see that this when you will relate these pictures to maybe to when you are dancing, when you are singing, when you are just like doing dancing in the bar or club, you just close your eyes and waving with music. This picture is definitely not for fashion. It's more like to capture some feelings of the models.
It's very good.
I think you managed to do something really special in this picture. You captured motion without motion blur. So, but you really got the motion, because if you look at the picture, you see that the hair is following the movement of her head, but this is frozen in the movement. It's I think it's really nice done. Can you zoom a bit in? It's really sharp. Also, you focus very well.
Yeah, it's very.
Can you just zoom a bit in the face?
Wait.
That's great.
Yeah, it's good. It's yeah.
If you see the hairs, actually there's some blurrings.
Yeah.
If you see the open
Yeah,
hair.
yeah. There's a motion in the hair. It's
Yeah.
he's turning the head, and the hair is trying to follow. It's good. I like it.
Actually, I would like to have. Actually, I would like to have more blurrings. I think I just like switch my camera mode to, you know, I just like quick shot. So for example, my camera can shot maybe 25 or 30 times per second. I just like, you know, use that models. I just very quick shot of the models. I would like to catch a lot of pictures, but the disadvantage of that model is sometimes you cannot that good motion. For example, the blurring of the hair.
I think you had at least a 500th of a second or something as exposure time. It's can you see it in your image software? What the exposure time was? Do you recall it? It's not important, I think. It's at least a 500th of a second or something.
I need to check whether I can find this. Because sometimes if I use Photoshop, I will delete all the information, but I still can check it. Yeah. I saw. Sorry.
1/800.
Yeah. 800. Yeah. So it's a very you have it. It's a very fast. The shutter speed.
I'm not sure it would work better with a slower shutter. I think it's just enough to give you the feeling of movement without being too blurred. I think if you slow it down too much, it becomes a bit too confused.
Yeah.
I think this one is you can just see the movement, and also the position of the air shows the movement without even the motion blur.
Yeah. This I meant that you show the movement in this picture without even having a motion blur or something.
Yeah.
But you see that the hair will follow the will follow the movement, or is trying to follow the movement. But I think if you would have a bit motion blur at the hair, at least at the outer part, where you have also a very high angular speed, that maybe with a 300th or something like that. Then the face would be still sharp and no motion blur, maybe, or little, and but it's a great photo. It's really it breaks a lot of rules. There's this hard shadow. There's the the eyes closed, but it's really it's a great photo. It's nice. And I'm sure she likes it too. Huh? Are you doing it time for picture, or how do you do it with your models?
Sorry, what's your question?
Are you doing time for pictures, or are you paying your models, or how do you?
Oh, it's not paying. It's called TFP. So I think I did it at 2019. I went to like a Schauspieler school, Schule, like it's a school. So they have an event. So they provide us some models, and we can shot with them. And later we need to upload the pictures, just like share the photo for them.
Okay.
Like it's free for both.
Yeah. It's a win-win for both.
Yeah, and also she's quite new. I mean, she didn't have any experiences before as a models.
Mm-hmm.
And besides, I think it's for the first time when you want to show portraits, working with models is quite makes things easier, because one thing is they have some gestures. You know, if they do some gestures, and they can show their feelings, express their feelings on their during their eyes, during some gestures, and using their faces. The second, I think the makeup is also very important. So that I took in some different event, and in this event, we have some makeup, some designers and some makeups to do some help those models to make up their faces, and seems quite easier because once you have good makeup, the light on your face is quite smooth. And later, when I just like using the post processing, I just doing the Photoshop. It's very easy. I just pick up remove some points like red point, some dirty places or dirty point from the faces, and that's all. Because their faces generally looks very smooth, very bright.
Are you asked them? Oh, I see Rosa also joined us, and some Eurotech universities. Hello to to those who joined us.
Hi, Tatiana, Klaus. Long time to see you.
Okay.
It's
Hello.
just a professional profile I joined.
Okay.
I think the name of is very special. The Eurotech universities.
Yeah, it's my professional Zoom. Yeah, it's just because it's on my laptop, it goes directly to my professional.
Okay.
But it's Tatiana.
Yeah.
So
Nice to see you. It was long that we haven't seen each other, and I hope we will see each other in person soon.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you for this very interesting presentation. So it's very beautiful photos as well, and I'm not as professional as Klaus or other colleagues. And actually, I just got a new camera.
Okay.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, so it's this one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I'm still learning it. So I'm trying to understand, what I can do with it. And portraits is very interesting. For me, I like to take photos of my daughter, for example. So
yeah. We could use her as a model, or you can use her very nicely as a model. Or she's you're a family of pretty people.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. I love this photo as well. I looked at your Instagram, and that was my favorite one actually, with this beautiful.
It's how to say? Once you just start shooting, your daughters, you see, and I think for the 0.8 or 2.0, and you will see when you the daughters, and there's some blurrings on the background. It's generally beautiful. If you compare this effect with your phones, normally the phones don't have the blurring, the background blurring effect.
Are you asking them to sign model release forms, model releases?
Oh, what do you mean model releases?
Yeah, that you have the right to use or publish the photos. I did it. I never did it for long, till I had one which there was a small magazine asking me if they can have this photo. I had it at an exhibition, but one of the prerequisites for them to publish it was that I could show them, give them a proof that I have a model release. And so since then, when I shoot persons, I always ask them to sign a release form that they agree that I can use or we can use the photos. I'm a very relaxed with giving them also the right to use the picture. But it's really it's a formal it's a formal thing. But even a lot of if you have one great shot and some like Getty Images or whoever would want one of your photos, they will not publish it or sell it or whatever when you can't give them a proof that the model has signed a release. So this is something I started really to do afterwards, and I didn't shoot portraits or in a way that I'm shooting portraits for friends or something, and then we don't do this. But a few years ago, I was traveling around North Europe, and I called it it was a bit of wordplay. I called it the Portrait and Landscape Tour. And I had of course, my camera, but also a big white piece of cotton with me, which I used as background. And just at random places, I put this as background and asked random people to pose for portraits. And I have a collection from this trip of maybe 50 or 60 portraits. And I had them all sign this release. There's a very nice app where you can just put the name, and the app knows the location, and it fills all the things, and the people can sign on the screen, and then they receive a PDF. But I collected all these releases, and and I was happy to find this app because it relaxes me a bit from the paperwork, which I hate. If I would have them sign sheets of paper, I wouldn't find them back a few years later. So just a hint, if you're going a bit more professional with the models, do it. Otherwise, you will regret it if you are being asked to participate in an exhibition or something and you can't prove that you have the right to show it. Just not as a critic, just as a helpful hint. It's a
no, I think the permission or like the copyright is always need to think about. I haven't thought about whether I think I can use these pictures for exhibitions because those pictures are both available for the models and for the photographers. But whether the models can make the goals of the TFP is like we just make pictures for each other and to promote ourselves and build the networks. And whether we can use these pictures for the business or for like for money, I still need to check whether need to check the policies whether both sides or one side are allowed to sell those pictures.
It might be part of the basic agreement, but it's good to get it explicitly agreed instead of just assuming. I have an interesting experience. We had a session with a model who came with a makeup artist and everything in a photo club, and we were all taking photos. And then in the end, I asked, "Do you mind if I post some of the photos in Facebook?" And she said, "No way." So she came to the photo club to be photographed, but she didn't allow anyone to show any of the photos. So the only time I have shown any photos of that shoot was in a meeting of the club itself. It's not that I had anything great, but it's a bit strange as a situation. But I think you need to count on all possible situations. So Klaus, I would very much appreciate to have the name of that app.
Yeah, I think it's called Easy Release, but I will put a link somewhere.
Yeah.
You can just put link on the Zoom, and we can all see it.
Yeah, and it's really super helpful. It's and it's not only a model release; it's also a property release. So if you would shoot let's say in a hotel or somewhere where you have some furniture, some things where it depends a bit on the country also, but so
Yeah.
sometimes it's really, better to have. It's not my favorite thing to have these things filled, but it's really needed or requested sometimes if you want them. I think the worst thing would be really having a great shot and not be able to use it.
Yeah. It is easy release. I found it.
Yeah.
It was 11 euros.
It's easy release, and so it was 10 or 11 euro or something, and it's really worth the money. I have even I changed the phone, then okay, with the Apple stuff, it just transferred it to the other, and you and you really you have it, and you put the email addresses, and you have all the. Also on my Iceland trip, I did some shootings with random people, and I also asked them to sign, and at the early stage I was a bit wondering if they would be reluctant to sign these things. I streamlined the terms and conditions a bit, so I deleted some parts which I felt were not important, and the people are not really not reluctant. They mostly they understand. And if they don't want, then they just don't want. But it gives clearness, clarification for everybody who's involved in this. This is also the lighting of this one. Can we talk a bit about this and the light and what you did?
Oh yeah, it's just like she just stands there. There's the light from her left side, and yeah, it's because the light is from the left side to from the right side to her left face, and another face is quite dark. And then in this part, just doing some special post-processing, you just bring the highlight a little high, bring the highlight and the white to high, and bring the darkness and the black down. So you will just create more contrast among the two faces. So yeah.
I also like this one very much.
Yeah, but the black is not really. It's not. It lacks a bit of the zoom lacks a bit of quality. I think. Can you zoom in the face of it?
Yeah, I think this is not quite clear, right? Because especially on the area, this eye area is not really clear. It's a kind of blurring there.
Yeah.
I think the focus is maybe on her hair.
Yeah.
using the focus system from the camera. They just focus on the hair.
Yeah, the focus seems to be a bit in the
part
back.
of the face, is it really? So what I see here, it's I really can't see if it's really black or is there still a little where the cursor is now, for example. How black did you get there? So.
It's hard. I don't. It's always hard to say how black is black because black is black. But you can just download the black until you cannot see. I mean the faces of your. Unless you cannot see the difference between this part of faces and the black background.
Okay.
I think I'm not sure, but if you print these pictures out, in very huge post, and you will see the colors difference maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's really subtle. Sometimes the only way you see it on the screen might be, even if you have good screens like ISO or something, but the only way really to see it on the screen is just to look at the histogram also, because sometimes you don't see it. But if you print it and you have if you have a paper with a white garment, so there are some of these Barit papers which have a higher dynamic range than the screen even has. So
Yeah.
then you can see nuances at this, and so it depends. With the black, it's not so critical. If you print on yeah, not so expensive paper, let's say, then the white are much more critical. If the white is burned out, then the paper may change the reflectiveness.
Mm-hmm.
So then you may have a different reflections at the areas where no ink is at all, and this doesn't look good. So but this is not the case here. This white is fine. And
Have you ever have you ever just like print the pictures like very big in a post? Because I didn't print any post now.
Yeah, I've printed A3. That's the biggest that I've gone, but it's a totally different type of photo. So
actually, I was before I saw like a poster, very huge poster for Coca-Cola. It's like it's like two it's very huge. It's like 2 floors. It's very big poster. Very big poster for the because they are for advertisement.
I have some. I have in another room. I have portraits in A2, the whole face, but this is really, it's more like a graphic. It's really black and white, almost separated. So it really depends on the style and the motif. And
yeah, that's true.
So,
and also sometimes you can ask for the models whether I mean the first when you show the pictures you can decide the basic color mode or basic color, we say the temperature or whatever. There are basic feelings or basic color mode. You can ask the models which you can try different, the color, the temperature, or color feelings. You can ask for the models which atmosphere or which the temperature they like. Whether they prefer the pictures pictures warmer, or they prefer the pictures colder. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
And maybe you can I think it's sometimes also interesting, I can ask for the models, do they have any preference? They would like to be more cool, they would like to be more like more happier, more brighter. Because I think sometimes if you only make the pictures more saturated, it's kind of out of date. Because in the past, I think in the past, people really like the saturated photos. It's very colorful and looks very a little luxury, very fashion. But nowadays, I feel that portrait nowadays is not really that according to the textbooks. It's more many people I know, they try to take portraits to express their feelings, or to express something. I mean, it doesn't matter their feelings or their goals, or they want to show something of, even for the photographs themselves. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think a good portrait, with a good portrait, you look somewhere behind the surface. I think with a good portrait, you reveal things which are not obvious seen. It's often it's so, but everybody has a different style. I can just speak for myself. But when I take portraits and I have the chance to talk a while to the people, and after talking a while, and then the situation changes a bit, and then you really can do gorgeous pictures, and it's really, you're looking a bit deeper. It's, or the camera looks a bit looks a bit deeper. And of course, color plays a role. Sometimes no color is interesting if you just go to black and white. Or you are very good in this. You made this special mood also with this girl in front of the bookshelf. This brownish tone and tone, and also the girl with the flying hair. I think that her jacket and the background corresponds a bit in the color and the toning. So, did you talk when you said that you are sometimes trying to set up the color tone scheme in advance? Did you when you shoot this this lady in front of the bookshelf? Did you plan it like this, or did it come out like this?
You mean the tones, or I didn't set up any tones before. I just used the auto white balance from the camera, yeah, and definitely the first and all the stuff you see now is still using the Photoshop. Because when I'm using the Photoshop, the first step is always to how do you say, calibrate the white balance to keep to. My first step is like to correct the white balance to the to the normal, and then to play with some, because in Photoshop they have a very they have a function very similar to Lightroom or to many other software called Adobe Camera Raw, ACR, and you can just play with tones, play with the temperature, and you can, if you feel that the right white balance is not really the atmosphere you want, you can play with the temperature and tone by yourself. You can make the temperature maybe a little, a little warm, a little darker. It depends on what you would like to express. And then you can play with the hue, saturation, and some the brightness. Yeah, it all depends on, you can play with different colors. I mean, because the colors are separated. If you want to make the pictures more blue, more green, and I just adjust these colors because I was watching a German series called Babylon Berlin, and I got some motivations from that film. And then I just, according to the film atmosphere, and just like, according their atmosphere, I just adjust the tones and the colors to catch up that feeling.
It's the cinematic, a bit older-ish movie color scheme. Yeah.
I think because the first time when I saw her, because maybe I'm Asia, but when I first time I saw this girl, I feel she's really she is also actress, but she has really that feelings from from the film, especially from the film I was watching. She looks very similar to an actress, the main character in that film. And therefore, I would like to try this film or cinematic, the mode. I just apply this mode to her, and personally, I like it. I'm not sure whether she liked it because I followed her Instagram. Actually, she's kind of feminist. She would like to have the woman, she would have the woman right. But these feelings, these pictures actually is from the feelings when it's kind of from the old time of the Europe, and that time maybe the woman is not really a little suppressed. Therefore, I'm not sure whether she likes this, or whether she likes this or not. So yeah, but personally, I like it because yeah, she's quite cool.
That's a nice one, and her view also. Go ahead, Tatiana.
I just wanted to say that I was intrigued by your last picture, and especially that you said that the space around the model gives a feeling of wisdom.
This one?
Yeah, because you said it's like, because she's like smaller in the middle of the picture, and then there is a lot of like nature, and the background, it actually reflects the cuteness. Yes, I get it. And wisdom, that was very interesting concept to me.
Yeah,
Maybe you could elaborate on that.
I'm not sure whether have you ever heard about a word called Tang. It's kind of the Buddhism spirit called Tang. So in Buddhism, they have kind of it's okay. My understanding is not it's not maybe not right. Okay, it's only my understanding or my feelings. I feel if you have like the temples or that places with a lot of trees, for example, in these parts they have the storms, they have the green, and they have it's kind of in the autumn. It's not in spring, it's not summer, it's autumns. And there's a girl or is a man wearing some the clothes very flexible and long clothes in the middle, in the small middles, and it's quite of you will feel that there's like quietness from the Buddhism, and that quietness is also reveals some wisdom of some the wisdoms of that religion. It's just kind of my understanding or my feelings, but yeah.
I think it's very beautiful, and I think your image reflects this really well. Yeah, so I really have that feeling of quietness, calmness, and like she's contemplating perhaps on something, reflecting. So it's a little bit of like story behind it, which I think each image should actually have in it. So that makes it special.
Yeah, and actually you can also try it by yourself. For example, you can just like go to like a forest, but it would be better this background not only just trees, but also have some maybe two or more. Okay, I would say 2 or 3 colors. It's better 3 like green, yellow, or it doesn't, or maybe water, and or it's just like castles. This background, not too many colors, but it's also not just one colors. And then people just going, you just go far from the people, and people in the middle, she could do maybe stand there or just like look down on the road, and you can just try some different pictures to see that feel. And and besides, it will be good if you can just like learn some basic like photo editing tools. Just using some presets, because they are not nowadays they have a lot of great presets, so it will make great fun.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I definitely play with that. Actually, I tried to do this in Iceland when I was traveling there, and there are a lot of spaces. Yeah, it's a lot of emptiness there, and there are a lot of opportunities to take photos on the background, which looks almost like it's on the moon.
Yeah, that's true.
It's really amazing. Yeah, there you can do something special. So yeah, it's. But I really like this picture.
Excellent. That's cool.
Yeah.
I would like to go to Iceland as well. So
I think you can take a lot of nice pictures there, especially if you like using space and people in different spaces. It definitely gives a lot of opportunities for that sort of photography. Combination of portraits and landscapes, I think, would be
yeah.
there.
Yeah, I know that a lot of people just go to Iceland to take landscape, and also if they have a drones, they can take the pictures from the sky. Oh, that's really beautiful. Okay. So yeah, I think the two organizers are already leave. Oh, okay. Yeah.
No,
Klaus.
no, no. We're still there. We're still. I think Rosa, who was really getting engaged now in Photoresk course, which is nice. I think she had a meeting today, a whole day online meeting, and I think she's just
Tired.
It's just enough. But I'm here. I'm still here. So it's and yeah. Where did you take this photo? Where was it taken?
It's a Chinese garden in China. And actually, I also find very similar places in Berlin. In Berlin, they have like kind of they have a kind of places where they have different parks. They have Chinese parks, they have Japanese parks, they have Islamic parks. That is a kind of park combinations near Berlin. So yeah, I think I would like maybe next time when I go back to Berlin, I will try some those pictures. I mean.
There is
Okay, I didn't know. I didn't know.
in Belgium. Do you know in Limburg there is also Japanese garden near Hasselt?
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, you could take lovely pictures there indeed. Yeah, so it's very similar trees, and I'm sure you can find it. And it's not as far as Berlin from Aachen. I think
That's true.
Yeah, this garden is still on my list. I haven't been there in Hasselt, huh? It's in Hasselt or some Hasselt.
It's lovely actually. I've been a couple of times, and sometimes they also have like festivals there. But of course, it's lovely to go in spring because all the Japanese trees are blossoming there, and in autumn because you can see many different colors. That's really where you can find all the beautiful colors.
Yeah, it's not too far from Aachen also.
No, exactly. Yeah.
So maybe you could make a combined meetup somewhere in autumn with Aachen and Brussels and meet in Hasselt.
I think we can do that. I mean, maybe a couple of weeks later, or depends. I'm not sure whether we can just like make in the meetup group and ask whether people have interest, and then as we can go together.
That would be nice.
Yeah, let's find a date and do it. Some after summer, I think. And
and also I would like to go to there at winter. If there's snow, it's also beautiful.
To where? To
the Hassan in Limburg in winter.
I didn't hear what you in Limburg, but what the Christmas market or
no Christmas market, but the Japanese palace.
Oh, okay, in winter. I don't know if it's open in winter. Are they open in winter?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, we can have a look on the website. Yeah, it could be. I'm not sure. I've been in spring and in autumn myself, so yeah, I didn't go in winter, so I wouldn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah. There is another little. It's not a Japanese garden, and it's far from being a real big garden. But here in Brussels, there's some small. Okay, there are the big known parks like Park Joseph, Park Leopold, but there are also some very very little parks. Like there's one not far from the Atomium, which has a bit of Japanese flavor, let's say it like this. It's, I'm just saying it's also worth to keep an eye on that. But okay, you're from Aachen, so I don't know if there's something in Aachen or around in this kind also.
Actually, I don't think so. We have that in Aachen.
Maybe closer to Düsseldorf, because I think there are so many Japanese people in Düsseldorf. They must have a garden or a park or something.
In Düsseldorf, they have a lot of Japanese. They have also Japanese festival once a year, but they don't have like kind of that places or palace or like, you know, the structures from the Japan. It's, yeah. They have a lot of food there. Yeah, they have a lot of Japanese food and.
Okay. So you're Japanese or you're Chinese?
I'm Chinese. Yeah.
You're Chinese. Okay. And so I'm always with Chinese people. I'm always confused with the names, with the first name and last name, and the way you do it. Like it was in the old days in Europe, that you have the last name first written and then the first name. And so
I understand. Yeah, it's complicated.
yeah, but actually not if you know. Okay. Yeah, it was a very, very interesting meetup, and we will put this on our website, on our channel, and I hope the others who didn't join, they will regret it if they see what they missed and had no chance to ask questions. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm working on this virtual gallery, and it's getting slowly somewhere. So you will also be invited to choose. I haven't made the figure now, maybe 2 or 3 of your images, which will go in this virtual gallery, and also in a catalog. So the virtual gallery will be a place where you really can virtually walk around and have a look at the pictures. And if people then want to see some details, they can look in the catalog, which will be a downloadable PDF document.
Okay.
So this is something which will be ready soon. It was a bit more work than I was expecting, but it's getting slowly ready. Again, thank you very much for this very, very interesting presentation. And if I just ask in the group if someone else has something to say or some questions still, we would have a bit more time.
Just thank you, really. It was really interesting and inspirational.
Thank you for participation and organization.
And thank you, Klaus, for organizing this as well.
Yeah, thank you also for joining. It would be, it's always, it lives from the participants also. And, thank you.
Well, thank you very much from my side also. I really liked the photos, and it's very good, Klaus, that you continue to organize these things regularly. So thank you very much.
We don't have a speaker for the next. I really want to keep it in these 2 weeks rhythm. I know we don't have a speaker for next time, so but you already did. And Tatiana, would you have something to?
No, I don't think I am as professional as other colleagues. So I would rather listen for time being and learn. But I promise to, well, do it in the future.
Okay.
And actually, I couldn't join you other Wednesdays because I had my French class on Wednesdays, 7 till 9. So that was an issue for me, but now it's over. So that's why I can do Wednesdays now. So it's great.
Okay. So, and I see you are getting ready for the beach also.
No,
Look behind you.
picture in the apartment, yeah. But we all hope, huh, to get ready for the beach. We hope.
Yeah. Good. Then, yeah. Then see you next time. And have a nice evening. And thank you again for presenting and joining. And we will do some physical get-togethers also in the near future.
Yeah.
And thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.